G'day everybody and welcome back to my Aussie Gardening Kitchen, Garden Edition. As you can see here, I'm doing an update on my pineapple plants. Now these are pineapples that I did in a previous video where I took one pineapple top, one crown by itself, divided it into four, and as you can see, I think it's actually growing into more than 4 plants. So today I'm going to take it out of the pot, divide them all up into individual pots, and then let them grow into their own individual fruiting pineapple plants eventually. As you can see here, I've got another 4 going here in this container, and they're looking not too bad at all. A couple are bigger than the others, but that's fine. As long as they're all healthy and they survive, it's good for me. So if you go back into my channel to my previous video, you would have seen step-by-step instructions on how to take just the one pineapple top and turn it into multiple pineapples. Now people do put them into a glass of water and then put them into a pot and bury them, and that's fine, but you're only getting one pineapple hopefully. Using my method that I show you in the previous video, you're going to get at least 4 different plants, and once we're done here we'll see if we actually get maybe 6 or so out of the one top. Now I've had to bring out the artificial light and I'm getting wet on my back here and the birds chirping over there. We've had a sudden big thunderstorm come along, so bear with me as I do this in a thunderstorm. I've already got a bunch of pots prepared with soil already. Now that's just a nice organic soil, nice dark rich organic soil with homemade compost that I make here, and that's ready to go. Okay, here we go, the big reveal of the root system that this has developed. Oh, look at that. So I'm just going to carefully look with my thumb at this first one here, this one here, and I'm carefully pulling to the side, just watching how it's impacting other plants around it, and it's doing fine. Looks like there's a couple right beside it. And then we've got some roots already here. I don't want to damage them as much as I can. So with my finger, I'm just going to push down into the soil and jiggle, 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 loosening the soil and the roots. And there we go. There's my first pineapple plant with a very nice root system coming off the bottom of that. So I'll continue on, and it's going to be easier to take 2 out here because they're so close together. Now I am putting pressure down the bottom here as well, just so I can get a bit of separation on the roots at the bottom as well and not snapping them off up the top. It's a little hard to explain, but you can actually feel where some of the root systems are going, and you can play with those and put less pressure on the ones that you know are deep rooted here and more pressure on the ones that are deep rooted here. Is another plant with a nice set of roots on it. That piece there, that is actually the original piece, the original quarter that I put in and grew the pups. I'm going to save that and I'm going to replant that and see if I can get new pups coming out of this again. Once again, I'm just separating, jiggling those roots, feeling where the pressure is. And again, we have another separation of the original. That's the original quarter piece that I put in. And here's a beautiful pineapple specimen that's grown from that quarter. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? We'll just keep on separating. A lot easier this time. And here's a beautiful specimen again. Another baby pineapple plant. Last separation, and again save that, plant that again, and a beautiful specimen again. Look at that, beautiful looking pineapple plant growing from 1/4 of the crown. There we go, 5 beautiful pineapple plants, all from just the one pineapple top. Why plant the one pineapple top when you can divide it and grow so much more? Fantastic value. All this original soil gets recycled. Never throw away your potting soils. You can recycle them. Just get them, mix them in a container with some fresh soil, a little bit of fertilizer maybe, some organic matter, and just revitalize it There's no point in buying soils in all the time when you can definitely reuse soils from your old pots once they're rejuvenated with the right things. So it's just a matter now of making a hole in the middle. So I'm actually going to take some out and put the soil into one of the other pots, like so. And I'm just making a bit of room there for the roots. And then we're going to get that beautiful specimen, take the roots down, and then hold the specimen at the level that I want, which is a couple of inches. This part here where the roots start, I want that about 3 inches down from the top of the pot. So I've got space on top for mulch and a little bit more soil and water to collect when I'm pouring the water in. So I'm just going to place that in at the height that I want. And I'm just spreading those roots out. So as they develop and grow, they're going to reach out into the pot and spread around in the pot. They're not all bunched in the one section to the side, the other side, the middle. They've got a nice even spacing all around. Now you don't want air in the roots ever when you're potting plants or planting plants in the ground. So I'm just going to get my soil and backfill initially just to fill up those roots like so. And then work that with my fingers, and then I need some at the front where you are, and then at the same time I've been holding this with my fingers to keep it at the height that I want. And as you can see, it's now sitting at a nice height in the pot with soil on the roots. So I'm just topping up the last of the soil to go on top of that, because I know that it is going to sink down a little bit further once it gets wet, which is fine. So that there is pretty much where I want it. Now the soil level does look a little high, but like I said, it is going to sink down because I need to water it. And all that dry soil is going to soak up the moisture, compact, and get smaller. Not by much, but it will. Then to this, I'm just getting some aged chicken manure pellets. And I'm just going to put a few of those onto the soil. Well, I say a few, but that's probably, well, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon. And then on top of that goes the mulch. Mulch is super important. It's going to keep that moisture in the soil. It's going to help keep those roots warm at the top there when it gets cold. It's going to break down and become organic material. Grasses and weeds won't grow through it. And there we go. That's looking pretty good. So last job to do is to water this in. And I'm using tank water, beautiful rainwater. I do not like using tap water with all the things that are in it. And there we go. That's the number one done. And that goes onto the old kid's plate, as you can see. That will collect excess water, and that's fine. Now, if this was out in the rain in really, really rainy weather for a week or 2 weeks, I would take the sources away, obviously, because you don't want them to be sitting in water the whole time. But that doesn't really happen here. It's the second week of autumn here, so these are going to be sitting in full sun. And then eventually, as it gets colder, I'm going to put them in a greenhouse environment to keep them warm, but still in the sun, and just give them that feeling that they're in a nice tropical paradise somewhere. Beautiful. Now, I won't bore you by showing you all the other ones, so I'll be back in a minute with the whole lot of them done. And there we go. Finally got them done. I've got 5 beautiful pineapple plants there, plus the original 4 quarters that I originally planted. They're back in the soil. Let's see if I can get some pups out of them. But look at that. Look at those 5 beautiful plants. They look so healthy. I've also got the 4 babies going back there, which are original versions of these. So there you go, free pineapples in the future. I hope this has helped you to learn how to do it for yourself and have great success. If you click on this video on the screen, that's going to take you to my original video where I divide the original crown into 4 and show you how I do it and successfully do it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next cooking or gardening video. Bye for now.